Hello everyone, welcome back to Base Damage. It's been a minute since I did one of my Trial by Fire videos. For anyone who's never seen one of these, it's where I basically crack open two of the recent sets, or whatever set I pick up, two of the trial decks, and just put them together and see what we can make. See what combos there are, and see just how much can be done with just two trial decks if you just wanted to get into a new set on a budget or something of that nature. So that is what we're going to be doing today. And I have Rurouni Kenshin. It's been about 2 weeks since this set dropped, and my trial decks finally came in. I pre-ordered them. They just took forever in the mail. It is whatever, but we're going to be looking through these today really quickly. Or crack them open. Going to go through each of the cards in there, and then I'm going to make a deck profile at the end of this, just that y'all can see what you can mix together. And obviously there's a lot of stuff from the booster set as well, because there is a booster set that came with this. I just didn't order any of it because I'm just going to order singles personally. But I know Tressus Collectibles put up a video showcasing a lot of the really powerful cards that you can get, some of the double rares and stuff that I'm not going to be picking up, mixing into the deck. So, because there's a lot of good stuff from the set itself. I'm just using the two trial decks just to see what I can do on a budget. But a lot of the cards in there are not really cheap right now. Or not really cheap, not really expensive right now. Sorry, slip of the tongue, right? But let's go ahead and pop these open because long intros are annoying. So, of course I'm going to need... There we go, there we go. Usually my thumbnails can get through these no issue. There we go, there we go. So we're going to take one of these, and I'm going to go through each of the cards in it first, and then I'll just kind of blitz through this just to see if we pull anything. Because the deck does have chances of... it used to say on the back, the SPs and stuff that you could possibly get in it, but this doesn't, apparently they don't do that anymore. Obviously I played that. So. Alright, let's do this. That's about to fall off. Okay, so being very, very careful. This is one of the cards I know that is really, really good. This particular level 0, which sadly, I don't like to run the SR, so I'm going to have to buy 2 more copies of this, which is whatever. Because there'll probably be only 2 copies of this in the set. So this one in particular is just really good. It's a 0/0/500 Rurouni Kenshin Himura. Placed on stage from hand, he gets a buff until the end of turn. The effect you run him for, though, is when this card is placed on stage from hand, you can pay 1, reveal the top card of, or pay 1. Discard a card, reveal the top card of your deck. I'm going to slow down. Then salvage back a character equal to the level of the revealed card or lower. So, just this is an absolute staple. 100% you need to get these. So, alright, so next is the Kenshin Brainstorm. Let's see. So, it's the typical pay 1, rest self Brainstormer for each climax. Mill 5 for each climax, draw 1. And it has a act ability this is honestly kind of cool, not gonna lie. Discard a card and sack this to your waiting room. Search your deck for 1 level 2 or higher, I'm just saying Meiji character, because I thought they were going to shorten the Meiji romantic story. I thought they were going to shorten that, so I'm not going to say Meiji romantic story every single time. Search your deck for level 2 or higher Meiji character from your deck, add it to your hand, show it to your opponent, all that. So, really cool there with the act ability there. So, next, we have, obviously there's going to be a playset of this. So, next we have, let's see. Righting a friend's wrongs, Kenshin, all of your other obligation towards a friend, Sonosuke, get 1500 power and character encore, and it has a bond with that particular character. This is really nice. Sudden join in Sonosuke. If you do not have another character in your center stage, this gets +1 level and 2500 power. So it'll be a 35 level 1. At the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you may move this card to an open position of your center stage. So it runs really nice there. This Kaoru gets a buff. On play, choose a character to get a buff as well. This level 1 Kaoru is really good. When this attacks, it gets a buff until end of turn. Equal to the number of Meiji characters you have. When it becomes reversed, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose 1 climax amongst them. Reveal it to your opponent. Put it into your hand. If you put a card into your hand, you discard a card this way. Also, it has a choice trigger. It has a crit trigger for the choice trigger effect. This is one of the big ones that I wanted to get from this trial deck is the level 1 Sanosuke combo. So 1035. On attack, if you have another Meiji character, it gets 35 power till end of turn. But also on attack, if it's in the middle center, it gets character encore till the end of your opponent's next turn. So it can just like keep going possibly over and over. The climax combo is really crazy. It's an on reverse effect, so that sucks, but it really doesn't matter. Sanosuke is going to get big and just doesn't give a shit. When the battle opponent becomes reversed, if with 10 years worth of emotions is in your climax area, perform the following action 2 times. You put the top card of your deck into your waiting room. If that card is a Meiji character, return it to your hand. So, and the climax is a double crit climax. It is on play, like it's like choose a level 1 or lower from waiting room, put it into stock. So we're gonna have several copies of those. Yahiko. I'm going to go through this a bit faster. So it becomes a 106k and has character encore from waiting room to bottom of clock. Really crazy there. Vanilla Sanosuke. Level 3 Sanosuke. This one's really cool. If all of your characters are Meiji Romantic Story, this gets 1500 power and character encore. When this is placed on stage from hand, choose one of the following effects. Put the top card of your clock into your waiting room, or your opponent chooses one climax in their waiting room, return all cards except that card from their waiting room to their deck, and shuffle their deck. Just a Fumio for free. It's just the one, though, but that's really nice. We're getting close to the end here of the yellows. Wandering again. 2-1 event. Choose 2 characters in waiting room, turn them to your hand, choose 1 card in your hand, put it in the waiting room. Okay. This is the Sanosuke climax. I'm holding it a particular way so I don't spoil myself in case there's any shinies in the back. So that's why I'm trying to hold this a particular way. But yeah, this is the combo for the Sanosuke. So we're going to go through these. I was also opening Pokemon card packs last night. So +2 soul. Kenshin, really cool. This Yahiko's a Global 500 and on play. Put the top 2 cards of your deck into the waiting room. If there's a climax amongst those, you get to salvage back a Meiji character. So this is also a very nice little addition. When this frontal attacks, you can pay 1 if you do choose the opponent's character. It gets -2 level till end of turn, and she's a 0 reverser. Pride is... this is actually really nice. Pride as a Samurai Descendant Yahiko. 002k. During the turn this is placed on stage from hand. When it attacks, you can pay 1 and pitch 2 to search your deck for 2 Meiji characters and add them to hand. You get some real nice advantage off of that. 2500 Kenshin backup. Let's see. The Kaoru assist, level assist in front. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can discard a card. If you do choose a Meiji character in a waiting room, return it to hand. Yahiko, that is a 2-135, but during your turn it gains 10,000 power. So it ends up becoming a 13-5, which is crazy. 2 copies of it, 3. Probably have a playset. The climax combo of the deck. This is actually really nice. 3-2-10k. Bado Jutsu Stance Kenshin Himura. Really, really iconic, like pose and everything for him. When this is placed on stage from hand, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose 1 card amongst them, put it into your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. This is really nice. And we're going to come back to this card right here. It is... when this attacks, if instant unsheath separating life and death, which is the salvage, is in your climax area, you can pay 1, discard a card, and reveal this for a resonate. Reveal this card in hand. If you do, look at the top card of your opponent's deck, put it on top or the bottom of their deck, and deal 2 damage to your opponent. So possibly, make them move a climax off the top of their deck or something. Be mindful if you do that, if, maybe the deck's down low. If your opponent, if it's a climax and you put it like on the bottom of their deck, you gotta remember there's a climax on the bottom of the deck now. Just gotta be mindful of that. So really nice there, but it does have to resonate with this particular level 0. All the more reason you want more copies. The salvage. All right, so this is where we go through a bunch of the repeats of it, because all of these have a chance to have a shiny version. Possible, like, triple rare or SB. I'm assuming there's a triple rare in each of the decks anyway, so it depends what we get, what would be really cool here. So, me going through, trying not to miss it, make certain no cards are sticking together. Me and Moroku had that issue with some Hololive decks a while back, where the climaxes were, the triple rares are like sticking. That felt like it was for a second there. getting close to the end here. There's the other copy of that. Oh, okay. And our triple rare is the Sanosuke Runner. Really cool there. So, nice. So we got to see what the other triple rare is going to be now. But I'm just going to kind of immediately go to the back of this other one and not really worry about it. But we're going to set that there. So let's go ahead and pop this bad boy open. And let's see what the other card is. I do like that in each of the trial decks they are putting in like triple rares and everything. So you get like something high rarity no matter what. I would love to pull an SP. I think there's only like one or two. It's like the level... No. I'm trying to remember what obviously I think this is one of the possible SPs, and it might be the Kaoru. I don't remember. But obviously, like I said, I'm gonna have to order 2 of the SRs just because I don't like running the SRs. I like I don't like putting foils in the deck for fear of it like getting messed up. So should be past here. Oh, it's just the very last card of the deck. So just make certain I don't miss anything. It is the level 1 Yahiko. I'm just making certain we don't miss anything else. All right, so it is the level 1 Yahiko, the one that has the Clock Encore from Waiting Room is the other triple rare. So we're going to set that there. And like I said, I'm just going to double check. Sometimes production issues. No, I do not see anything else. So it is just going to be those. And obviously still have a playset of everything. I'm probably just going to have to order more copies of this particular level 0. But yeah, no, that is really cool to get these. So, I like having the runner. That is really cool, but obviously that means I also need to like order one more copy of the runner. That is the downside. Like I like the shinies. I like making certain that you are guaranteed getting shinies in the set and everything, like in the trial decks, but you do have to replace them. Like if you don't want to, if you like trade it off or something, you still have to end up like ordering another copy. So I'll have to order another one. That's whatever. But it is still a really nice card, especially for the deck that I'm wanting to make when I order cards from the set itself. But that is going to be it for the opening portion of this video. So now on to the next half of this, which will be me taking this, and I'm going to go on Decklog and make it, because now the set's on Decklog. I couldn't do this beforehand, obviously. And we're going to go on to Decklog, and I'm going to put this together and just show what happens when you can slap 2 of the trial decks together and see what it looks like. So onwards to the future. All right, and we are back with the deck. Decklog did a little funky thing. It looks like, oh, you only have this level 3. No, for some reason, the other level 3 Sanosuke is down here. I don't know what the issue with the programming is on that, but we will bounce accordingly. So there was a couple things. So for the most part, when you do this and you take like 2 trial decks and kind of put them together, it's not really difficult to put things together properly, but say for this deck, it's fairly simple, but there are a couple caveats that I did want to point out. For example, I wanted to initially include the event, but then I realized, oh wait, with the Sanosuke combo, he only adds characters, so the event cards would whiff on that. So it kind of sucks in that regard, so we're just going to have to not use the event. But if you wanted to use the event despite that drawback with the Sanosuke only adding back characters, then by all means go for it. I just letting you know, like, that is gonna whiff, so I didn't include that for this particular build. But let's look at it. So I know I went over it a little bit in the opening portion of the video, but I will state at least the climax combos once more. So obviously the level 3 Kenshin does dig, which can help you get for your climax or the resonate target, and we will go back to that in just a moment here. Because I found out when I went to look on TCG Player that as of the recording of this, there were no copies of the normal version available to buy. So I'm like, well, fuck. Okay, I'm stuck with the SRs for now. But whatever. So you can dig up to 3 and add any 1 card to hand. So you can grab like the climax or something. When this card attacks, pay 1, pitch 1, and reveal the level 0 Kenshin, which we will show in a moment, if you have the salvage in play. If you do look at the top card of your opponent's deck, put it on top or bottom of their deck and burn for 2, and then his damage goes through. So the level 0 in question here is obviously this one. Like I said, you get 2 regular copies and 2 SR copies. Also, this was one of the SPs, this and the level 1 Kaoru. I was correct on that. I had to go back and double check. But so yeah, so you get a play set of this, no problem for getting 2 of them. So even whether you run the SRs or not, I would definitely say, because it is a resonate target, also the second effect is just really, really good. Definitely run 4 copies of this. So 4 copies of the level 3, 4 copies of the only other level 3 in the deck, which is just honestly understandable, is the Sanosuke. And like I said, I don't know why Decklog tossed him all the way down here. But also, so being the only healer in the deck, you kind of had to run him anyway. But having the Fumio effect, which is the on play, you can choose the second effect. Choose one climax. Your opponent chooses one climax in their waiting room, returns all cards to their deck except for that one climax. Can decompress your opponent a lot. So having this built in, I really like seeing this in the trial decks. Bushiroad, please keep doing this. Very awesome. Well, like I said, that's also the only healer. You kind of have to run like a play set of each. It's understandable. 2 copies of the Kaoru Assist. It also has a salvage effect. 4 copies of the Yahiko, just as a good beat stick. It becomes a 13-5. Like, what the heck? You got other little, like I said, you got the 500 global buff here. You got the level assist in front. This thing is just going to get over, like, everything. It's going to be shite-tastic defensively, sure. But honestly, there's even other cards in the set. For instance, there's a double rare level 0 that can, like, bounce back one of your characters to hand. There's a Kenshin that can sack itself to save another character. So even if you're like able to get those, this is a viable beat stick because you can just like keep getting them back over and over and over. So really cool there. 2 of the Yahiko Clock Encore from the waiting room. Obviously, a playset of the Climax combo for Sanosuke, 0135. So we will read out this card in its entirety because of the Climax combo and everything. On attack, if you have another Meiji, gains 35, so he becomes a 7k by himself, but the Climax doesn't give any buffs, so you are going to want to make certain that you can buff him, and I did go back to put in cards to assist with that. No pun on the fact of assist characters, But also, if he's in the middle position of your center stage when he attacks, he gets character encore from hand. So if you play 2 of them, middle center swings, he'll get it. Left or right swings, they'll get the buff, but they won't get the character encore. Only downside of that, but like I said, there's some cards that let you save characters doing so. So those are always fun to include for if you end up getting stuff from the set. And the Climax combo is when the battle opponent becomes reversed if the if this thing here, because I have to remember exactly what it said, the double crit, grab a level 1 or lower character in waiting room and put it into your stock, and all your characters get +1 soul. So he gets soul, he doesn't get buff. If the Climax is in play, when the battle opponent gets reversed, perform the following action 2 times. You may put the top card of your deck into the waiting room. If that card is a Meiji character, return it to your hand. So mill 1 Meiji, add to hand. Mill 1 more time if it's a Meiji, add to hand. That's why I say if it's a event or a climax, they whiff. You don't add it to hand. So 4 copies of that. 2 copies of the Kaoru that when it gets reversed can grab you a climax from the top 3 if there's one in there. 3 of the Kenshin Brainstorm. You could even bump this up to 4. Even though it is the trial deck Brainstormer, which is only a mill 5 draw for each climax, the first effect is honestly really good. If you want to make certain, like maybe your Sanosuke's effects have been whiffing, and you need to make certain that you can get to a healer or your level 3 Kenshin, you can specifically grab those, grab the Yahiko to kill some things. Because it can grab like level 2 or higher characters, it's kind of good in that regard, and I kind of like it because of that. So you could even bump this up to 4, but minimum 3. That's just my opinion. So this can help. This Kaoru, I did want to go over specifically. 2 copies of this, it can help with the Sanosuke. You could even bump this up higher. It gets a little bit of a buff during your turn, whatever. When this is placed on stage from your hand, choose one of your Meiji characters. It gets X power until end of turn. X is equal to the number of Meiji characters you have, which is the total amount. So it counts all 5 if she is the last one to be placed. Meaning you could give 5 times 5, 2,500 to a character. That would be really pog to toss to your Sanosuke, so he can hit 95 minimum, not counting if you have the Yahiko Global 500. You could hit 10k. With this Sanosuke to guarantee you reverses. So that is a big thing to take into account there. So at first I wasn't including this, and I was like, nah, shit, I kind of got to. 4 copies. Okay, well, didn't want to pull it up there. 4 copies of the Sanosuke Runner. 4 copies, obviously, of the Resonate Target and the Salvager Kenshin. 3 copies of the Global 500. It also mills when you play him. There's nothing that really, like I said, because you're not using the event to like salvage back because the event, can whiff. Oh, God. Because that can whiff, it's kind of whatever. You can, like, I think there was like some other cards in the set. Obviously, you can salvage back with the level 0. There obviously was also other salvage effects and everything in the set, which obviously this could be really useful in a standby base deck because there is like an 8 standby build that you can do. The mill could possibly, you know, set you up with some targets. So 4 copies of the Yahiko, the turn that he's played on attack, pay a cost to search 2. So and 4 copies of the salvage trigger for the level 3 and 4 copies of the double crit for the Sonosuke level 1. And that is going to be it for the overall deck profile and everything. And like I said, there's a lot of stuff that can be done, and there's a lot of stuff that I would highly recommend picking up from the set itself. There is one downside right now. I believe there is like an anti-change reverser that you can get. I just don't remember what the card is. Maybe a future me wants to put it on screen. But I found that the only other anti-change backup is a promo as of right now that's like $10. So if it's if the reverser is like yellow or red, you're going to want to be running that absolutely. Assuming you don't want to spend $10 for a promo, you know, that's up to you. By all means, go for it. But that is the only backup that has it. I think that was a really bad call on their part. I think they could have had that be anything else except the anti-change reverser. Anti-change backup. So reverser is probably going to be the way to go for that, assuming that it matches the color profile. I just don't remember the card off the top of my head. Obviously other stuff, there was other good backups as well. The memory kick was a Sonosuke, so that works for this. Not that you're really going to have to worry about that too terribly much for this build because you're at level 2s and your level 1s are going to go back down to being very weak. But you could at least protect your level 3s if you absolutely needed to. Trying to think what else before we wrap it up here. Like I said, obviously there's a lot of really, really good cards in the set. One of the bigger ones being like there's a Kenshin level 0 Ricky, but as of the recording of this, it was also like between $10 and $15 a pop. So I can't really advocate it that much if you wanted to be able to search out the Sonosuke. But there's also really good climax combos in the set. So just take a look through and see what you like. I will be trying to come back and do some more decks for Kenshin. I've been cooking on some stuff with the simulator, and you know, coming up to the release of this, I just haven't been able to pick up everything and test it IRL, which is what I like to do when I do my own deck profiles. But even testing on the simulator obviously does help. Just in person is always better. So playing against a person versus playing against a computer, you know, I try to do proper testing. So that is going to be it for us today. Once again, thank y'all very much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all those cringy YouTuber shenanigans, and we will see y'all on the flip side. Stay based.